Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, all of you. So, welcome to day two, and I'm super excited for today as well. So, reflecting on last class, we had done approximately 10, psychoanalytical tools. Based on that, I've given you a homework, a very short reflection homework. So if you haven't been in the class, and if you haven't done the homework, I'll just give you 2-3 minutes to work on it, because again, the instruction is that you cannot take much time. So you have to be as quick as possible. Okay, so the prompt was one animal which you like you love the animal, and another animal which you dislike or loathe, or you don't like it at all. Okay, so you have to be very quick with those two. Okay, so maybe you can type it out and then I'll tell you what to do with it a little later. So you should be done by now. Um, to each, you need to write down what you like about them, like the animal which you like, what do you like about them, and the animal which you dislike, what do you dislike about them. So write down their traits. And I hope you have mapped out the defense mechanisms which I have sent in the group early in the day today. I'm pinning this. I hope you have this ready, because we are going to discuss a little bit on this and related to the archetypes. So if you have already done this part, which I've just pinned, you can also put it in the chat box.
Ma'am, I missed the last class. I hope I'll get some recording or something like that.
Yes, I'll send the recording. However, today it will be a little difficult to follow, if not completely,
Okay,
because a lot is related to what we had done last day.
okay.
Any which ways, you can watch the recording. We have done 10 tools wherein you can find out your personality patterns, your conflict areas, and all of it through your unconscious mind. And today we are going to look at archetypes, which I'm going to discuss.
Okay.
Ma'am, I had a doubt about the last class. So can I ask now?
Can we do it a little later, ma'am?
Oh, okay,
Because
sure.
otherwise, we'll run out of time.
Okay.
I'll talk to you maybe after class.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
So these were the few things which we did last day. I'm not getting into it. If you have any questions, you can write it in the group and we'll pick one day to answer it. So this was the thing which was given to you last day. So all 10 tests, and you had to map your dominant styles. So the dominant styles would be proactive, passive, reactive, guarded, expressive, avoidant, overwhelmed, and balanced. So all of this we had discussed. And this was your final score. Like whichever is the highest will be your dominant style. I hope you all have worked on it and you have kind of written it down. If you can quickly write it down in the chat box.
Ma'am, I
Yes.
tried doing it, but I got confused. Like if my traits, like how to put up the traits in proactive, passive, reactive, or guarded category.
I had given a number of sheets in the group. If you check,
Yes,
which
ma'am.
were the last
You,
class.
yes, ma'am. I somehow I don't know. I have missed out the part. I'm missing out somewhere or what. I have the
Okay, we'll
dictionary.
look into it. Look into it,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
overall, whatever your it's already there in the PPT. The analysis and everything is there in the PPT in such boxes.
Okay.
Okay, so
I
if you look through, you will be able to get it. Okay, so every activity like this one,
yes, ma'am. This is
whatever
clear.
it is,
Yes.
hmm,
Yes, this is very much clear where the analysis is given. I was actually stuck with the three objects only a little bit.
that's
Water
okay.
was,
We'll discuss it later. Okay,
yes,
so that would be the dominant styles. So mapped out would be your dominant style. Your score will give you a picture of what is your dominant style. So now, in order to understand this, the defense mechanism also had given you one chart. So last day we were talking about Freud exclusively, but Freud was kind of rejected for a lot of unnecessary things which he had said, or over emphasis on only sexual objectifying. So he was kind of rejected. Jung was his student, from where he developed his own theory. Jung focused on not only certain personal unconscious, but also talked about certain, universal data, which he said was the collective unconscious. So if we go back to the previous slide, Freud talked about only the unconscious. That means if we have certain traumatic incident or some kind of negative incident in our life, our brain will automatically put that into our unconscious mind, which in return we don't remember anything. So the brain doesn't let all these threatening information to come back to us so that we feel safe. So Freud overemphasized on the unconscious, and he said that it is a personal storehouse. Okay, so a person's experience is shaped, what according to him, it's shaped by the unconscious only, and whatever desires, whatever the negative wishes which we have is all through our unconscious desires, which are repressed. Repressed memories are forgotten memories where we don't have any access to. Okay. So this was Freud's concept. Now Carl Jung, he was a student, but then later on he kind of moved away from him. According to him, there are two layers. First is personal unconscious. He took a lot of the theory from Freud, which is forgotten memories, repressed memories, not suppressed. Suppressed memories are purposefully, kind of suppressed, but repressed memories are automatically forgotten. But it has some emotional consequence to us. So he emphasized on that. Not only that, but he also talked about collective unconsciousness. So here I would like to pause and tell you that it is inherited. It has been there from generation after generation, and the concepts and the emotions which are carried forward through the generation is called the collective unconscious. And we, as we are growing up, we acquire it from our parents, grandparents, from the society, and form certain notions about it. Okay, so that's what he called collective unconscious. And based on that, he kind of came up with different archetypes, which we are going to discuss. So here I would like to pause and ask you to symbolically, if you have colors or pen, whatever you have in front of you, symbolically draw the concept of love. Okay, I'll just give you a minute to work on. What, according to you, is love? Just draw it. That's it. Maybe you can doodle, sketch, draw, whatever you wish to. You need to represent it symbolically. Use symbols. Okay, once you're done, you let me know. If you can put it in the chat box, what you have drawn. I drew flower and tree for love, okay. Others, what did you draw? Two hands reaching out, two hands meaning care, okay. What else? If you want to put it in the chat, you can. The picture of what you mean by love. Flower and heart, okay. Okay, heart again, okay, cross heart, leaf. Fine, so a lot of, okay, what's your observation? We are like 22 of us, and most of us have written about flowers, heart, leaf, plants, gentle, cute rabbit. Okay, that's the other one. So most of us have written rose, flowers, heart, smile, leaf. What is your observation?
Known pattern, I think, most of the time.
Exactly. Thank you so much. So we are sitting miles apart, maybe hundreds and hundreds of kilometers away across the country, but we are walking up the same model. You know, it's coming up when I talk about love, all the symbols come up in a natural way, which is common to most of us, right? So this is what Jung called it as collective unconscious. Also, if I have to ask you, draw anger, how would you put it? Maybe you can write it down in the chat if you have to draw anger. See, we already got two common, symbols, fire. Red face, yes. Come on, quickly, whatever comes to your mind. For me, anger would be fire. Like, that's the first thing that comes up. Arrow, okay. So a lot of it, again, when we see that this symbol also has something common, it's either sharp or fiery or red. So all of us have this we have got this collective unconsciously, we are working on this. And that this is what Jung emphasized a lot. So he came up with archetypes which describe us as people, or you can consider archetypes as maybe personality structures, which we'll explore today. So I'll start off with the core archetypes. So according to Jung, or it's generally used that way, around 16 of the archetypes are generally used, but I'll give you a more detailed list of other archetypes which are in modern day use. So these are the archetypes. The self, if you can read it, the core drive is integration and wholeness. which is kind of the maximum a person can reach. It's more like an integrated self with everything put together and what we call self-actualization. Okay, so the person is balanced, aware, grounded, wise, mature. Okay, there's a whole lot of emotional regulation. So this is what the structure of personality looks like. Then we come to hero. The core drive would be achievement, proving worth. You know, you have to be industrious, you have to be perfect. All of these traits come under hero. Warrior would be always being disciplined, on time, kind of controlling, and a lot of strength in everything they are doing. Ruler would be to maintain law and order, to have everything to the T, stable, all of it. So we'll explore one by one. Okay. So what I'll show you are a few archetype cards, which you can have it printed. I'll send you the entire card deck. This is in a PPT format, but there's this format which, let me just send you. I'll send you individual card decks as well, which you can get printed and keep it with you for your sessions. I have sent you two. I hope it's not the same one. Yeah. I've sent you 14 and 14 archetypes. Okay, so 14, basically here there are 16 archetypes, and this one, 16 archetypes which we will work with, and the rest you can have it in more detail. When you are done with the course, you can study that in detail and incorporate. I'll come back to the self later on towards the end, because self is something which everyone strives for. So it's all about balance and knowing oneself to the fullest and doing everything properly. So that's like the perfect self one can have. So if you look at hero, these are the traits which you can have. Who you are, the key traits, strengths, shadow side, life lesson. So the shadow side is basically, even if you have a lot of positive traits in you, what can be the negative side of having those traits? Say, for instance, the hero. So the key traits and strengths are that you take initiative, you're proactive, you're courageous and disciplined, and you have a goal in mind. But then your other side, the negative side, can be that you can have a lot of insecurities about failing, or maybe you're always working, you're overworking in order to achieve your goals. You can start becoming very dominating and controlling because other people are chilling around you. So you might not feel that other people are worthy of your time and space. So that can happen to a person who is identified as a hero. These are the cards which you can print. Then you have your warrior. The warrior is disciplined, focused, courageous, self-control, reliable. They show you the, all the good things of life, good thing in the sense, the positive things of life, what you should do, what you should not do. They're very loyal, but the shadow side can be, they become very rigid and inflexible. They fail to understand other people's viewpoint. The ruler will have a very practical side. They can decide very well, problem solve very well. They have good strategies. They can lead a group. They're confident. But on the shadow side, they can become very controlling, authoritative, which might, lead to feeling of inflexibility in the person. So whatever they feel they are doing is always correct. Okay, so they'll have that dominance in them, which they want to display to others, in spite of having the strengths. The lover can be very loyal, very sensitive, empathetic, passionate. It's not only about, romantic love. It can be any form of love which can be there. They can be overwhelmingly, in the area of empathy. They have worked in the area of empathy, and they can be very empathetic, passionate, loyal, sensitive. All of it can be there. But on the shadow side, they can have this fear of rejection and the fear of being alone. They can become very dependent on others, and they would expect a lot of things from others as well. So they kind of have an imagination which runs through their mind, which can get very overwhelming. Okay, and they might just ignore red flags because they're overwhelmingly in love with the other person. It can be any form of love. Excuse me. So the explorer, they like spontaneity. They like being independent. They like being curious, adventurous. They want to be on the go all the time. But then if they have this trait, there can be the negative side also, that they can become very restless and dissatisfied with life. They may escape from reality. They may not have a very smooth family life because they want to explore all the time. They're risk takers as well. They want to change, they want to explore the world. So that can be very unsettling for others as well. Since they like a lot of adventure, that can become a problem for others. The creator can have a lot of innovative ideas. They can inspire others, they can influence others, but the shadow side can have a lot of misunderstanding. They can be unpredictable, also very sensitive. They can be viewed as very sensitive. They can be sensitive to criticism also, because what if people don't like what they are doing? They become very sensitive. Okay, and along with that, since they are creative, they daydream a lot, so they can be stuck in an imaginative world. Caregivers, again, are very empathetic, they're compassionate, they're very generous, giving nature, they're very patient as well. But on the shadow side, they can neglect their own needs, first of all. And they're prone to people pleasing, they're prone to putting themselves second or the last. They are always trying to fix people, which may not be true. So, in cases of helicopter parenting, what happens is they want to keep in track with their children's whereabouts all the time because they are overly concerned. Okay, so that can become a problem. The innocent is more to do with childish nature, a lot of positivity, optimism, being very hopeful, very simple, very simpleton, as we say, joyful, being honest all the time. So they're very simple, good natured people. Everything positive, but on the shadow side, they can be very naive. So gullible also, because whoever tells them whatever, they start believing and doing it. So they can be easily fallen prey to peer pressure, peer influence, and all of that kind. So they are dependent on others, and they feel that everyone is good around them, and no one can be dishonest, no one can do any harm. So they trust a lot. In due course, when they are mistreated or when they are not, they don't have good people around them, that's when the trouble arises. So they get betrayed or cheated very often. The sage is wise and curious and patient. They are on the calmer side. You'll see them with a lot of insights. They like to be on their own. But on the shadow side, they kind of overthink and analyze everything. And they are kind of distant from others. Okay, so they can be heavily critical or judgmental. Internally, they may not express it outwardly, but they are more secluded in the sense they might be living in the same family, doing everything possible, but their communication with the people around them is limited because they feel they know a lot and other people don't understand what they are trying to say. So that can be a problem for adjustment. It may lead to adjustment issues. Sorry, this is written as self, but it should be rebel. So rebel is someone who is challenging everyone around them. So you'll find a lot of people like this who are challenging, questioning, they're very confident, in fact. They're very courageous. They're non-conformists. That means they'll not just take everything for granted. They know their boundaries very well and very authentic as well. So they're always seeking truth. But on the other side, it may happen that, sometimes it's very superficial rebel. So just for the sake of doing it, they can be superficially rebelling everything or challenging everything. They might just, not do certain things, but prove that they have done it at the stake, putting others at stake. So there can be certain hints of dishonesty in them as well. So they might just reject whatever is being put forward by the authority, which is not good all the time. They can get into trouble. They can, like as it is written, they can burn bridges or push people away because of their rebel nature. So even if there are good friends, they are so rebellious, so kind of wanting answers to everything that they may push their own people away at the smallest context. The wounded child basically talks about, they are very sensitive, dependent, however, very authentic, but at the same time, they are needy. You will find people who are always wanting love and care and attention. They're always acting as if they are deprived of everything in their life. So they are always either sullen or they are vulnerable to certain instances around them. You might feel that it's a very trivial thing to happen and why is she cribbing or he is cribbing so much. But if that's the wounded child, they will generally tend to be, very sensitive to situations. However, since they are sensitive, they may also face issues like they feel unloved. There is a constant need for validation and attention. They're always stuck in the past. They don't want to live in the present or think about the future. So you'll always find them cribbing what happened in the past, what they couldn't solve, the memories coming back, and they're getting flashbacks and everything. So and this is the wounded child. The orphan also has similar traits, but then they are friendly, accepting, and adaptable. So it's more like they want to belong, but they are more positive by nature. It's not that they are cribbing most of the time. So they tend to build strong relationships and communities. They talk a lot. They're empathetic, understanding. So it's more like having a very socially strong network. They're dependable and trustworthy as well. At the same time, since they feel lost or they feel that since they have not got the love and care they should be giving it more to others, so that can make them feel people please or seek approval, or maybe they start having negative thoughts about themselves that I'm not good enough, I have to give more to others. Since I didn't get, others should not be deprived. So that can be a problem, and in due course they may just lose themselves in trying to fit into their world. The protector basically is someone who is always vigilant, and he or she wants to protect the person all the time. They are responsible, protective, and very supportive. However, they have this, again, it's almost similar to the previous one. They have this constant need to protect others because they have not got it themselves. Okay, and that may lead to a lot of insecurities, overprotectiveness, and helicoptering. And they will have, people will have difficulty in setting boundaries with them because they're always jumping to help. Not that it's a bad thing, but then every time if a person doesn't need help, but you're still proactive and helping, overly helping other people, there might be, a kind of invasion into the privacy of someone's life. Now, the shadow self is related to the self. So the self is an integrated version, and the shadow self is all the insecurities which we have inside us. Okay, so all the fear, anxieties, all the drama, all of it which is there inside us is the shadow self. I'll come back to this. The jester is someone who's very playful, very optimistic and very humorous. All the time they're the clown of the party and they're always laughing, expressing. They're very creative. But in due course, if you look at their shadow side, they might be a person who's dealing with certain negative emotions inside them, which they don't express, which they hide. They're not expressive in the way that they should be. Okay, so they don't tell you the real side of life. So they are the jesters in a group of people, but they don't talk about themselves much. I'm coming back to the self because all of the traits which I've shown you, like the archetypes which I've shown you, are kind of present in us in different variations. Okay, so as per the activity which we did last day, like what is the dominant style which is coming up, whether you're aggressive, passive, whichever is coming up, will relate to one of these archetypes. Okay, so your work right now is to identify which type it is. So we'll be doing these two, the strength and the shadow card, and the defense mechanism which you have worked out. Okay, both were given as homework. So if you've worked out these two, we'll be working on them through the archetype cards. In the meanwhile, just let me send you the PPT so that you can refer to it and quickly pinpoint the different archetypes. Any questions here? Anything you would like to ask?
Can some archetypes overlap with each other? I mean, more than one parallelly happening?
Yes, in fact, we will all have these archetypes in various combinations. Okay, so when we do the relationship card next day, once you get the printouts and everything, we'll do that. Those two, goal setting and relationship card through the CBT activity. So once we do that, it'll become much more clearer. But today, I just wanted to introduce the archetypes so that you can go through it and try to figure out like which archetype you fall under. Let me just send you the PPT. So can anyone write down what all dominant patterns came in from the last day's unconscious tool activities? Anyone who would want to participate in the discussion? No one? No one has done their homework, it seems.
Ma'am, I have done it, but I'm just confused with the objects and the three objects activity. Like now,
But you can leave that out and just count because that's only one tool. So you can count the rest of it and tell me.
okay, and I have done that already. But I just wanted to ask, like for example, the door activity, what we had, the door test. So there were so many attributes to it, right? The size, everything.
Correct.
So it may be different, right? It may fall in different categories.
Right.
So still we have to put the tally mark for each of the attributes as well.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So amongst that, in that particular activity, you'll have maybe 1 or 2 types of attributes coming up. So which is the dominant from there, you pick up that only.
Okay.
For that activity, say you have 2 of type A and 3 of type B. So you'll take 3 of the 3 count. So it will be type B for you for that activity.
Okay.
1 or 2 examples regarding the chart. What chart are you talking about? Which chart? Oh, the final chart you're talking about.
Yes, ma'am, the scoring one.
Yes, I'll send it. But for the time being, let's take 1 or 2 examples maybe. If it's possible, then we'll. Okay, keep that ready. For the timing, let's do the animal. Okay, so one animal you liked and one animal you detested. So on a page, you can fold it into 2 and write down the animal you like and the animal you kind of hate. Okay, and write down the characteristics on the 2 sides. I've sent the PDF. It's just go in a while. Okay, dominant patterns are. Just missed the message. Dominant patterns are expressive, overwhelmed, and reactive. Okay, we'll come back to this. Let's do this first, and then towards the end, we can discuss with an example. Maybe you can put it in the group once you're done. Your 2 animals, one animal which you like and the other one you dislike. So what are the core traits? Okay, so for me, I had written about a dog and a lizard. So for me, a dog would be loyal, warm, friendly, and helpful. That's how I perceive dogs. That's why I like them. They're kind of very cuddly and loyal. They never leave your side. The lizard is what I dislike, which is cold, secretive, and lonely. So they can sit in one place for long hours and they kind of look evil also, the face. So inactivity also is what I don't like about them. Okay, so this is what I have written. If you can share yours as well. If anyone wants to unmute and share what you feel about it.
Ma'am, may I?
Yes, please.
So the animal I like is the panther, the one in the black color. The grace, the alertness, and the reserved behavior which you get from that animal, the vibe that a very reserved animal. The
Okay.
the animal I dislike is the snake. I don't like the snake appearance, the way they are, any type of snake. Their poisonous nature, that they are poison, they hold poison in them. I find them very selfish, and I don't like the way they crawl, the crawling part of the snake.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, ma'am, may I?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So the animal which I like is the cow, and I like it due to its gentleness. I feel it humble, and I like the giving nature of the cow. Like we get milk from the cow, so it's ready to give its milk to us. And
So good.
dislike, yes, is a dislike one is the lizard. I don't like the creepiness, the creepy behavior. I don't like its shape, and I don't like its sticky nature, and being at one place for a long time. That's what I dislike. Thank you.
Okay. Any other thing? Anyone else who would like to discuss?
Ma'am, can I?
Yes, please.
Yeah, mine is actually little different. Like the feature that I like, the thing that came in mind is fish because of like its color.
Mm-hmm.
And like animals, actually like I'm scared of the paws of all the animals. So everything from far I like. I don't touch anything. So I'm scared of
Which one? Ma'am?
animals actually.
Sorry,
Pardon,
I
ma'am?
didn't. I didn't get the other part. The second animal.
Paws, paw, paws, woman. Like I am allergic to paws. Like I am scared of seeing the paws of the animals. So I cannot hold them. Like from far I can see. I cannot touch any animals. I'm scared of that. So I am not. I don't like any animals. Maybe because as I am scared, I don't touch any animals.
Okay, but here it's not about an actual fear. It is about something which you don't like at all. Say, for instance, if you had to, if you could touch animals, if you did not have this issue, which animal would you not like?
Maybe lizard then.
Okay. So a lot of
Um,
lizard people here. Okay. 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 So let's do one or two and then maybe we'll get the hang of it. So I'll come back to this. So this is what it means basically. Okay. Your favorite animal shows who you allow yourself to be. So that's in your consciousness. Okay, those are the traits which are there in your consciousness, and maybe you're doing it right now. At this moment, you are practicing that more often. You have kind of incorporated that more often, and you allow also these traits to come inside you. Now, the second one can be a little alerting and challenging for a lot of us because this is the shadow side. Okay, so the shadow side is something which we are rejecting from us. So the animal which you dislike shows who you don't allow yourself to be. Okay, so you might be asking me, what about creepy behavior and shape and sticky nature and poisonous and appearance and all of it? Just reflect on it for 2 minutes and try to figure out what is the actual thing which irritates you about that animal. Say, for instance, you're talking about, say, the shape or staying in place for a long period of time. That would mean inactivity, and that would mean that you are not allowing yourself some rest. Maybe you are overactive, or maybe you are too tired, but you are still not resting properly. Okay, so about the shape, you don't like the shape, maybe you're not allowing yourself to look into the mirror and appreciate yourself. So look at your shadow animal and see what are the traits which are coming up and which archetype does it fall under. So the next step would be to understand what does maybe your first animal resemble as an archetype and what does the second animal resemble as an archetype. Say, for example, for me, the dog would be more of a person who's loving and caring, maybe a lover or a caregiver. And the second one can be lonely, evil, if I've written, inactive, secretive, could be one of the shadow figures, the rebel. So maybe for this example, I'm not allowing myself to be courageous, outspoken, to challenge authority, to do certain things which are radical. So maybe I'm in inhibition about these traits inside me. Can you make sense out of it? If you can give your inputs, I'll be much more clearer with my delivery. So can you tell me if you're relating, not relating? That would be helpful.
So basically, this dislike part of the animal, I'm not relating. Why? Because I have only put all the negatives about lizard. It's like evil, disgusting, and even I want it to be extended from Earth planet. So like I hate like anything. So how this will reflect for my things? Shape, I totally understand. The person who was saying something similar or something related to other people also. But lizard के केस में मेरा मतलब ऐसा है कि वो हट ही जाए दुनिया से तो अच्छा.
So you loathe it so much. Okay, I understood. So basically, you want to be completely gone, right? So you don't like it
Yeah.
at all. And
Yeah.
evil in the sense, evil is a characteristic. Just try to think of the opposite characteristic. Evil
Okay.
is what? What is the opposite of evil?
Angelic.
Kind, angelic, caring. Maybe you're being too kind to other people. You're considerate about everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why this is coming up. You know, you're
Okay.
tired of it, basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So even if you
Uh,
want to be selfish and evil, sometimes, we feel that, okay, if I could have done something, then it would be better, but I won't do it. Right? So that frustration, that is expressed through this.
Okay. But the
Something
word
which you're not
disgusting
allowed-
is nothing. Yeah.
Even disgusting. Disgusting means the opposite of disgusting is what?
Mm,
Nice,
welcoming. Nice. Yeah.
welcoming, nice. So it's more like you are doing a lot of people pleasing here, which maybe you're not liking or not accepting, that I need to change, I need to draw my boundaries, I need to put my foot down sometimes. I cannot be kind and nice all the time.
But the animal I liked is like cat. So uska thara characteristic to it's coming under the total opposite because that's who basically I am somehow. Selective, independent, calm, cautious.
Okay,
So
maybe
they
that.
have boundary.
No, they have boundaries. Selectively, they have boundary. But
Uh-huh.
maybe in the other case, like you have written dislike and evil and all of it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Eradicated. So some traits which are telling you that this is the exact opposite which I want, but I cannot do
Okay.
for certain situations.
Yes. Understood. Yes. I need to reflect a little more, maybe. I could
Yes.
reach somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
So does
Okay.
this
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think
And
of the
does it-
opposite traits. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
does this mean that this is a shadow self?
Yes. The second animal which you
The second animal.
is your shadow.
So
Shadow
what
self.
we dislike it, but it shadows us also.
Yes.
We may become at times you become like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is something which you're stopping yourself to be. Sometimes it is required in life,
Ah,
but then we don't do it because we are overcautious or we are culturally oriented. So that's the collective unconscious.
that comes on the collective unconscious.
Yes. This is all about collective. Archetypes is all about collective unconscious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
got it.
shadow side is something which we are rejecting to we are not allowing it to come to us for certain reasons.
Okay, something like superego overlapping on this. Superego working on
Superego, yes, definitely superego.
yes.
Definitely superego, ego, relationships,
Relationship.
authority, all of it will come, the necessities of life, all of it will affect.
Yeah. Got it.
Any more? We can do maybe one more and then we can proceed. Yes, Temi. Yes, we can come back to you. Yes, Daniel.
Ma'am, this is Sarjana. I logged in from my husband's this
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
So the animal I did is I wrote cockroach. and I feel really unhygienic, and I really feel yucky when I see cockroach. And also, I really don't like the fact that cockroach can survive without head for days.
Survive without?
Head.
Okay,
So
without
if you
head.
crush the head, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like whenever I see that, and if I see small cockroach, even when I'm walking around, walking on the road, when I'm taking a walk,
Mhm.
I tend to not go that side again.
Okay.
So that's the thing I really dislike.
Okay. So basically, it's more about their hygiene and they being dirty and crawly, that kind.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the opposite of hygiene? Unhygienic, sorry.
Yeah. Hygiene. And
Right?
then
So
cleanliness. Yeah.
cleanliness, maybe it's overwhelming you right now. So you want to be a little messy, disorganized and everything, but then you're not letting yourself to be. So that can take up a lot of your time, maybe. Or you might feel uncomfortable around for lack of order, lack of cleanliness, and all of it. So that might cause you a lot of discomfort. Or there is always order in the house. Everything has to be in place. Everything has to be properly done. Everything has to be clean, neat and clean.
Yeah.
So that's what your shadow self, it's not allowing you to be a little relaxed around having maybe a messy house sometimes or something similar, making mistakes, not keeping everything spick and span. So that perfectionist attitude might be you feel uncomfortable and you're not even allowing yourself to, be a little imperfect.
Mm, yes, ma'am. That is the thing. I think like I'm not allowing myself. Yeah.
So that's the shadow side coming up right now.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. This helps.
Thank you. What about snake? You need to describe the snake, please. We'll take this one more and then we'll move on to the next one.
Ma'am, if like it seems unreliable, it seems like a hidden enemy, deceptive, creepy. So,
Okay. Deceptive, creepy, and what else did you say, ma'am? Sorry.
unreliable.
Unreliable. Okay. So this is the exact opposite of what may be overwhelming you.
What is the exact opposite?
Unreliable would be reliable. So
Reliable, yeah.
people might be overly dependent on you all the time. So everyone feels that you're very nice and reliable. So a lot of responsibilities coming your way.
Yeah, that's
So people
quite
are just
evident.
giving you a lot of work, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
So
Is it something like that I want to, I'm not being able to express that, but somehow subconsciously I'm feeling that,
yeah, you need to stop. Yes, you need to modify. You cannot be perfect all the time. You cannot be productive all the time. You cannot be nice all the time. So basically reminding yourself to be a human.
okay. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So basically, this activity will tell you what you're overwhelmed with. So if you have your cards in place, once you print them out, you put it, lay it down and see, try to match which archetype is coming up. And each archetype will have certain strengths and the shadow side. So accordingly, maybe you can suggest to your clients or maybe apply to yourself as to how I can problem solve. Maybe if this is coming up in my shadow self or the second animal, this is what I need the most. And how can I put my boundaries in place? Like for me, sitting in inactive is irritating me. So the opposite of inactivity would be, activity. But then I'm maybe not allowing myself to rest. Okay, so that might be triggering me, that might be putting me into more stress. So what I can do here is take some rest, even if I'm conscious. This was in my unconscious. So once I brought this into my conscious, I can take informed steps. Okay, so once you do it, maybe a couple of more you can chalk out in the group itself. You can send your responses, others can kind of help you through, and then it will become much more clearer once you sit with your cards. I would highly recommend, even if it's a black and white A4 sheet printout, just print it out and keep it in front of you so that it becomes easier to look at.
Ma'am, but regarding the movement, like creepiness, what we mentioned about the lizard, so how can we interpret it?
See, there are so many symbolisms in animals as well. I've sent you the symbol dictionary. There is also another thing which is, the totem animals. Certain totem animals which has their own meanings. Your creepiness, the opposite of being creepy is what? Being approachable.
Yeah.
Creepy means a little weird. But on the opposite, it's more like, you are calm, composed, wise. So that's what maybe you're doing too often, which you don't like. So every time you cannot be wise and taking good decisions. Okay, so you're not allowing yourself to make mistakes or not be wise all the time or not give advice to everyone perfectly.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, ma'am.
So I just have a small doubt here. Should we ask like this test will be changed with the time, or this is once and for all? Because the animal we hate, usually that will not change, no?
Generally, it doesn't change. So this
Yeah.
is your core personality.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
But it might also, over a period of time, it may change, but that's very rare.
Yes. Okay.
So
Thank
this
you.
is one test which is very, talks about your core personality type.
Mhm. Correct. Okay.
Okay, so here are a few examples which you can go through after the class. We don't have much time left. Okay, so I'm going back to the activity which I had given you to map out the rubrics. A few people have written about their dominant styles. Can someone retype it, please? Okay, dominant patterns. I think Sajana had written dominant patterns are expressive, overwhelmed, and reactive. So can someone tell me, quickly go through the archetypes and tell me which archetype card it might be? Expressive, what can it be? Which one
Can
can
it be creative?
It can be creative. It can be the other, either the lover or the child. Okay, so this can be expressive, can be under these categories. What about overwhelmed? What about overwhelmed? What can it be? Overwhelmed?
The wounded child?
Yes, it can be the wounded child or the protector. Mostly the wounded child, definitely, because it's more about that. What about reactive?
The rebel?
Rebel.
Rebel? Yes. The rebel can be reactive. So all of these, you need to pinpoint and understand what are the traits and what are the shadow side. So that will give you a clear picture as to how you're processing everything around you. What's your core personality type? What works for you? What wouldn't work for you? What can be the challenges? What can be the positive traits? So basically, that will give you an exact archetype structure to the person you're looking at. Okay, and when in a session, this can be done through this, or it can be done through when you are having your cards in front of you. You can lay it out like all 14, 16, or 24 cards you have. You can lay them out through the pictures and ask them to draw any 3 cards. Draw any 3 cards by looking at them, not just by blindly picking it up, but by looking at them, what they are drawn towards. Okay, so once they pick it up, you can maybe read it out to them and try to figure out whether they have these traits, whether they are having certain challenges in place. What are the traits which are matching? What are the shadow side which are matching? So that these can be extremely good conversation starters. Okay, this can be one method. The second method can be you pick up each card, read it out to them, and tell them, when did you feel like this? Say, for instance, if I pick up, say, the Magician, if I have to ask you, who wants to, kind of volunteer? Who would like to volunteer? Anyone who would like to volunteer? I'll just ask you a few questions. Okay, thank you. So if I have to ask you, ma'am, when were the times when you were the magician? You read the key traits of the magician. I'll read it out for you for today. Intuitive, visionary, yes, charismatic, transformative, focused, inspires change, sees hidden patterns, and connects the world. Were there any times when you were a magician?
Yes, when I wrote my first
Yes,
book.
ma'am.
Yes, please go ahead. Yes, ma'am. Tell me.
So who should speak?
Okay, so when you wrote your book, you felt like that. Wonderful. So we all know you wrote a book now. Okay, when did you feel rebel? Feel like the rebel, defiant, courageous, independent, radical, authentic.
The rebel, let me just yeah, when I didn't get admission in a university for my PhD.
Okay. When did you feel like the orphan? Bill's community is accepting, down to earth, relatable, loyal.
So orphan. Okay, maybe when I lost my father.
Okay, sorry to hear that. The explorer, when did you feel that way? Independent, adventurous, curious, open-minded, spontaneous.
Okay, when I started my own counseling setup.
Okay. When did you feel like the hero? Brave, determined, disciplined.
Okay, when I got an award for my book.
Okay, wonderful. When did you feel like a jester? Playful, humorous, optimistic.
Okay, this I feel many times because I'm a teacher, and when I deal with the younger kids, I feel this attributes.
Okay. Okay, a few more. When did you feel like investigator? Curious, observant, logical.
Investigator, whenever I deal with the clients, I get that feeling.
Okay, that's great. So this way you can keep on going with the cards, because these are great conversation starters, because you'll get to know a lot of things about them directly. Okay, and many a times, as and when there are difficult situations when they're expressing, you can pause for a while and reflect on it, how it changed them, what are the things they did in order to bring back themselves to the self. Okay, and you can keep on discussing about their traits or their incidents or their stories surrounding those cards. A lot of times you will see that they are hesitating, or they say that, no, I've not been that way. Okay, I can't remember anything which is aligning to this particular trait. You will note it down. Okay, so the the number of cards which they are rejecting in the sense they don't have much things to talk about, that will give you insights as to what they are lacking in the first place. Okay, so that brings up the shadow self again. Okay, so something which they are doing more often, the cards which they are very expressive, they're very excited about talking about it. And there will be few cards which they would not like to talk about, or they would not say anything about it, or they will completely reject it. There can be certain cards. So you'll keep a note and try to figure out what can be the shadow self of for that particular person. Okay, any questions here? For today, we will do till here, and there are 2 more techniques which we will integrate with CBT. That's called the relationship matrix. Just a minute. Relationship card or relationship matrix and goal setting. So we'll do these 2 tools the next class which we are having, which will be integrated with certain basics of CBT structuring. So any questions here, anything you would like to ask? What I would suggest is, as a group, since it's a small group, you can put your responses. Each one of us can give inputs, that will be a good way of learning and understanding. I know this can get a little complex because you're doing it for the first time and then you'll have difficulty in analyzing things. But once you start doing it, it will be way more easier to look at things. Any questions for today? No questions?
Ma'am, can honesty play a role in this if when we are asking these questions and the client is or either maybe because of confusion they don't tell their characteristics, or they just wanted to please the counselor and then they tell these things?
See, that depends on your expertise as a counselor also. Say, for instance, they are not well versed with English. So you
Yes.
need to translate that into their
Okay.
level of language.
Okay.
It's not possible that everyone will understand whatever is written. It's just a kind of a standard writing which is given to you. But then you can always modify.
Okay.
Okay, but the core of that particular personality, say for instance, hero, the core would be, yes, you like doing a lot of things on your own. You like saving, you like kind of, putting other people, those who are in danger, you like saving them. You like helping others. So you like kind of acknowledgement from others as well.
Okay.
Okay, so whichever language they are comfortable, whether it's Hindi or their local language, whichever language, you can maybe translate that to the client. So basically what happens is there's a picture in front. So that's the archetype image which you're giving, and the writings are at the back. That card I have not sent because this is just for a reference. This is a reference card.
Right.
But generally, it's more like, those cards where you have the picture in front and at the back, you have this writing,
Correct.
which you may or may not show it to the client.
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, they might just imitate just as it is. Whatever.
Exactly. So just by the picture, they see the picture and then they understand what they might be feeling. So you can just tell them, maybe showing them a picture of a lover, you can ask them that what are the incidents surrounding? Did you feel this way anytime? If they cannot understand, then you explain the traits.
Okay. Then we list it down as rating. Do we rate these cards 1, 2, 3 based on?
Not exactly rating. You can just do a shuffle. You can pick up random cards. And then the pointers which you need to notice whether they are hindering telling you something, whether they are rejecting, if someone has been betrayed or someone is uncomfortable around relationships, they will not like talking about the relationship card.
Sure.
The lover. Okay. So they will kind of bypass, no, I don't have anything to say about this. I don't know what to say. So that is your cue that they are missing that in their life. That's their shadow side.
That's the shadow type. Thank you.
Right? Okay, any other question? Anything? Nothing else? Okay, let's then put it in the group. As in when you have queries, you can put it in the group. We'll try our best to get back with the answers. Thank you so much. And the next class, please, get this printed. These are not actual cards, which I have already told you. I'll send you the PDF, the whole PDF of cards a little later. Please get accustomed with these cards and then I'll send you that card. Okay, keep a printout ready. We'll do 2 more, relationship card and the goal setting strategy, in the next class. And the last class will be about 10 art-based therapy tools for each archetype, which we are looking at. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.